KnightVision News examines the academic pillar and skills for success.
And we take a look at all the athletic news on campus in this busy fall SBC week. Hello and welcome to KHS. I'm Jason DeGeorge.
And I'm Quon Marion. Thanks for joining us on another edition of KnightVision News. EHS students find themselves deep into the second quarter with midterms tests lurking, and one of the best skills needed at this time for tools of management, Olivia Hudson brings us the report on ways to navigate a full schedule for the academic pillar.
Time management is the key to success at Episcopal High School. It allows students to manage their time and after-school sports all together with the help of teachers in free periods and doing their homework after school and tutorials.
Manage my time by using a planner and also doing work in my free period. That helps a lot. And I also do work after school.
Many students reach out to their teachers and go to tutorials for help managing their time with their after-school activities.
After school, I work out until like 5:30, and then I don't get home until like 6, and so I have to eat dinner and shower, and then I only have like an hour for my homework. So what helps me manage my time is my free period, and I have a planner so I don't miss anything.
Although time management is hard, teachers at Episcopal help all of their students manage their time through sports and all of this other stuff through tutorials and emails, and if they need extra help, the teachers are always there to give it to them.
Thanks for the report, Olivia. Just as important as time management is learning ways to be prepared for tests. To give some insight on better ways to study for those big exams is reporter Skyler Witt.
Preparing for a test can be extremely difficult. Here are some opinions on how to study.
I like to go to tutorials to prepare for a test, and I also like to make Quizlets and flashcards, and I study at least 2 days in advance for a test that I have.
I usually prepare for a quiz by studying on Quizlet and looking over all my notes.
Sometimes you have to study a little harder and more for your harder classes.
My hardest class is probably biology because there's so much information for me to learn, but that's why I like to make Quizlets and do flashcards, so it helps me memorize.
My hardest class is definitely history because it's really tricky to memorize sequences, and I usually study for history by also looking over my notes and playing games to memorize.
Preparing for a test can be tricky, and I think people would mostly say that Quizlet is a pretty good source to ace your test. Back to you in the studio.
If students are studying or trying to figure out how to organize their day, lunchtimes bring them an escape and the opportunity to recharge. KEH's own Sheila Sanders found that lunch is more than food for many students in her report.
Many students at Episcopal High School use their lunch period for more than just eating the delicious food made by the wonderful kitchen staff. From hanging out with friends to playing some b-ball in the gym to studying for an upcoming math test, these scholars do it all. I spoke with a few students about what they spend their lunches doing.
Study because I really like how quiet it is, and I usually do my math homework and my chemistry homework. And
Picture of your nose.
Are you leaving?
That was rude.
Yeah, she's leaving.
I mainly eat the food the delicious food that's prepared by our gracious lunch.
Wait, why am I?
At your next lunch, try studying at the amazing library, swing by the gym to catch a round of basketball, or just hang out in the wonderful USC. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Sheila, for that informative report. In Arts Pillar news, the photography program has become quite popular among Knights looking to round out their schedules with arts offerings. To learn more about the diverse offerings available in the Media Arts program is Whitley O'Donnell.
Photography is a huge part of the arts program at EHS.
So at EHS we have a beginning photo class, advanced photo class, we have alternative processing in photo, and we have photojournalism. And the first three are all in the Media Arts department, and then the photojournalism is in the publications department.
Teachers at Episcopal like to teach photography.
I have to say, I like teaching. I love teaching all of them, but I would have to say beginning photo, because I get to be in the darkroom with the students and I get to share that first experience when they see a print come up in the developer, and it's like it kind of shows up like magic, and they always are like, oh wow. So that's one of my favorite classes.
Photography can be a very beneficial class to take.
What students learn, they learn how to use a manual camera. They learn how to shoot film, process film in a darkroom, and make prints in the darkroom, which is all things that you wouldn't get in a typical photography course in high school. So they learn all of these steps in order to create this sort of handcrafted piece of art.
Another arts course that has caught on in popularity is Things in Movie Making. With Mr. Milani providing instruction in all levels, movie making is even animation, the next Steven Spielberg or Spike Lee is sure to emerge from the coveted third floor. Here's my co-anchor, Jason DeGeorge, with creativity happening in his film report.
Students can gain a lot from taking the movie making class here at EHS.
So in movie making class, we have a number of different options. Students can take the class without any prior experience. They'll make music videos, they'll make a chase sequence, they'll also have an option towards the end of the class to choose whether they want to do a documentary, a horror film, a stop motion project. But in any case, they have an option towards the end of the class to make something that they want to make. And the main purpose of the class is to help students make whatever specialization in filmmaking that they want to pursue, that they are able to pursue that in the beginner level course. There are several different levels to the filmmaking courses in the program. There's movie making, which is the first beginner course, no prerequisites. There's intermediate movie making, which you're allowed to take after you've taken movie making. And if you're really into this stuff, then you can apply to ETB, which is the advanced movie making class, and that's a year-long course. Students normally in the class get to experience how to use this medium of film to express whatever it is they want to express. Now, whether that's in creating music video or in exploring documentary filmmaking or telling stories in short films, that's up to them. But the goal of the class is really just to help students get to the point where they have the skills to make whatever, I guess, final product they want to make using that medium.
The movie making program here at EHS allows students to pursue a new interest in the media arts, whether they've had prior experience in movie making or not.
In other news, most students are aware of the new innovation spaces that occupy the second floor of the new USC, but not many know what is available there. Among the opportunities to learn and explore the multitude of the 3D printers which have been working in the magic for many years, Harrison Wallace took a look at technology in his report.
I'm going to interview some of the 3D printing club members about what they do every day. Let's see what they have to say about what they're making and what they're going to do for the club.
Hello, this is 3D printing. This is a 3D printer, and we're building a Overwatch symbol right now. What it's doing first is it's building a plate so that the print can build on top of that, so that it doesn't print directly on the plastic, so it won't mess up. Right now, this print is taking 6 hours, 30 minutes. That's a relatively fast print compared to some. Our friend Garrett, who is not a very good printer, he printed something that was 48 hours long, and it failed. He wasted a whole roll of filament.
Thank you, 3D Printing Club, for giving that interesting interview. Back to you guys in the studio.
Next up is Charlotte Pond with her look at the religion pillar and the recent All Saints Day service.
Throughout the year, we tend to have so much going on with school, sports, and our personal lives that sometimes it gets hard to have a close relationship with our faith. Having chapel every day at Episcopal helps us keep a strong relationship with God while still managing our school and social lives.
All Saints Day falls on November 1st every year. That's the day after Halloween, which is All Hallows Eve, All Halloween, Hallows Eve. And on All Saints Day, we remember the saints of the church. And that can be defined in any number of ways, but the simplest way to think of it is the saints are all the people of God who are trying to be the people of God in the best way they can. And a lot of times we remember people who we love and have lost on that day. And we have a banner here with ribbons on which people have written the names of people living and deceased who have been important to them. In our prayers at the Eucharist on All Saints Day, we named all of the people who had sent in their names, people who have lost loved ones in the last year. So that's the necrology list that we read on All Saints Day.
Thank you, Reverend Holden. As I watched the All Saints Day Chapel, I realized how lucky we are to be able to experience chapel every day, and how lucky we are that we can have a tight relationship with God while still managing schoolwork. Back to you in the studio. I'm Charlotte Pond.
Thanks, Charlotte. In sports news, it was senior night for a few of our fall programs, and reporter Courtney Callahan was there to cover the special events. Here's her report.
Senior night is the one night a season where seniors are celebrated on a team. Tanner Witt expresses what senior night means to him.
Senior night's the last home game of the season for volleyball, and it's where the seniors get honored before the game. Senior night means a lot. It's all the hard work we've had over the year, and it's put towards this one night dedicated to the seniors.
As you can tell, senior night is a very important night for Tanner Witt. Coach Lease now expresses how the coaches get involved with senior night to make it even more special.
Senior night is a culmination of really the seniors and really what they've given for the last 3 to 4 years on campus, and it's really fun for our guys to play for that senior group and to send them out the right way. The coaches are involved really just kind of pushing, the whole week about this is about the seniors. We're playing for the seniors, and let's send them out the right way. And really, it's just kind of the encouragement of really the sophomores and juniors.
Thanks, and back to you in the studio.
Fall SPC is here, and to see how our nights stack up as the tournaments get underway is my co-anchor, Quon Marion.
This week is a very special week at EHS. It's SPC week. SPC means Southwest Preparatory Conference, and it's like a championship game or tournament happening this week. Our athletic director, Coach Groove, was excited to share the SPC games, times, and where they will be held.
We've got an exciting weekend of SPC activities here in Houston. Field hockey kicked us off today with a big 1-0 win over Hockaday over at Kincaid, so they'll advance to tomorrow's quarterfinals at St. John's. Tomorrow we'll have boys and girls volleyball. We'll start things off. The girls volleyball tournament is right here at Episcopal, so our girls will play at noon. Our boys will be at 2 o'clock over at Audi in their first game, so both of those teams have aspirations to be a championship team. And then cross country will get things going on Saturday for us at 9 a.m. and at 9:30. Girls and boys will run up at Spring Creek up in the Woodlands area up in Spring. And then it's all going to culminate at 7 o'clock on Saturday night at Butler Stadium when we get to see our old foe Kincaid for the SPC Championship game.
Be sure to come out and support all our nights at the game and/or tournament. Thank you.
Also in athletics news, winter sport teams are already transitioning into full-time practice and now in preparation for their season. Ethan Toe highlights the wrestling program, and this work's already in progress.
Wrestling started, and I was able to talk to some coaches and some of the players about what they thought about it.
I started my freshman year, so this is going to be my 4th year. It's a lot of fun, but it's hard making group chats and scheduling practices and making sure everyone's at practice and actually going.
I've been wrestling for 11 years. For college, I went to Oklahoma State. I wrestled here when I was in high school, and it opened a lot of doors for me. And I love this sport, so I want to do what I can to give back.
Thanks for all the people who I was able to interview, and back to you in the studio.
And where would any of our sports teams be without the Outkick second floor weight room? Home to team after team trying to get better in their disciplines, the weight room can make the difference for many programs. Reporter Alyssa Wall has the story.
Located on the second floor of the Hildebrand Athletic Center is the weight room. The weight room is used by students, faculty, staff, and sports teams.
The weight room is one of the best in Houston. It's a brand new facility, probably 3 years old. The people that work out here are basically all the sports on campus, whether it's junior varsity, varsity, or any of the lower class junior varsity teams. And then anybody else that wants to work on their fitness or wellness. We have strength conditioning classes and wellness classes available here. Working out here, if you're an athlete, if you play any sports, you work more on performance, whether you're in season, off season, or preseason. For any other students that want to come in here, it's just like any other gym, but it's more private for them. It's nice and clean. Your peers are working out with you, so you don't have to feel intimidated when you come in here. You'll always have someone available to work out with you. And obviously, I'm here to help with any questions that you have with your fitness or wellness concerns.
Make sure to stop by the weight room after school. Back to you.
Well, that's all we have for this week on KnightVision News. I'm Quon Marion.
And I'm Jason DeGeorge. From all of us at KEHS News, thank you for joining us.
And go Knights!